Welcome back to the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube. Welcome back to Shovel Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Circleberg Burkle, here on the coast today. Aaron and Joe. Go and say hi, guys.
Hi.
Alright, please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy our content. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So, in this video, we'll be taking a look back at the Kansas City Chiefs' journey to Super Bowl 58 and basically how the heck they got here. Didn't start off great. The season was not off to a too great of a start. If you go back and look at some of our videos mid-season ish, you'll actually see a lot of discouraging words that we spoke about the Chiefs at the time. I believe there's one video that's simply titled "Why Do the Chiefs Suck?" which at the time they did it very badly, actually. Biggest story around them this year being the receivers just were not consistent. And while that's kind of buttoned itself up here later on in the year, if we're taking a look at the whole season, we have to make a point to mention that. Started off with, a lot of faith in Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, Marquez Valdez-Scantling to kind of carry the receiving core with the rookie addition of Rashee Rice also being included, and then obviously Travis Kelce involved as well. The season did not start off well for Toney, Moore, or MVS. Numerous drops by all three of those guys in crucial games, crucial moments of games. You could easily say that those three collectively lost us at least 2 or 3 games this season. But we've seen
Single-handedly lost us too.
One of them single-handedly lost us to Tony, Lions, whatever the other game was. Oh, Bills. That's right. Yeah. So it's been a rough season for the receiving core, but they have started turning around. What do you guys? I know Aaron. We kind of talked about and I can't remember if Joe was on the episode when we talked about that. You had mentioned that maybe it could be a problem with the receivers not getting enough playing time, not getting consistent snaps, not being able to get into a rhythm, essentially, is what it was. Have you has anything discouraged your opinion on that? Or is, kind of this last half of the season, if anything, made your point more relevant? Because I feel like if you look at MVS, for instance, he's gotten more consistent snaps. He's getting into a rhythm more often, and now he's not, dropping those big catches.
I don't necessarily disagree with my take. I think that still kind of holds true. I think part of it is maybe they aren't forced to do as much.
Yeah.
The main focus has been Pacheco, Rice, and Kelce. And then every once in a while you get a play from Watson, a play from MVS, So they're not expected to make, 5 catches a game deep down the field. We've kind of adjusted our game plan to the players we have. And that's featuring, Rashee Rice on short routes and screens, heavy focus on the run game, and then Kelce just doing his thing.
Yeah. That's a very good analysis, I feel like, because I had mentioned earlier, I think in that same video even, that I wanted us to run the ball more. I wanted Pacheco to get 15 plus carries a game. And it seemed like they started doing that. By no means was it because I said it, because I don't think they watch this. Although if you are a Chiefs fan or Chiefs organization watching this, maybe hire us. We could do play-by-play commentary or something. I'm sure we could work something out. Just our email's down there somewhere.
I'm pretty good at clock management.
Yeah. We're good at mixing up play calls offensively too. So if you need a new OC, we're here.
One of us is not very good, Mr. TE Attack.
I was gonna say we can't have 9 tight ends on the roster, Bert. We need to fill other spots.
Hey, we can if they're the best.
You are not the one.
We can if they're the 9 best
tight ends.
I will be an administrative assistant. But all jokes aside, I think obviously more of a focus on the running game has seemed to have solved a lot of those issues. Another thing that's kind of eased that stress, I think, on the offensive side of the ball is the defense being, I think, a lot better than we had anticipated. I mean, I don't think any of us. Yeah, the defense was. We'd seen that the defense had noticeably improved throughout the years, but this is the first year where it felt like, a team straight out of like 2014, where even if the offense is only scoring 13 points, this defense isn't going to let the other team score even 10. So I feel like that's got to be a huge contributing factor as to why this team's been able to stay afloat, obviously, throughout the year, even with those problems on the offensive side of the ball. Um, Joe, what kind of do you attribute to the Chiefs' success on the defensive side? Is it coaching? Is it just good talent acquisitions in the draft, and obviously free agency with some people like Justin Reed and Drew Tranquill? Or is like why is this defense so much better now than it was even a year ago?
All the above.
All the
I
above,
think a
yeah.
big part of it is uh, a lot of it is chemistry. Like if you just look back on some of the best defenses that we've seen, just even our lifetime, you go back and think of like the Legion of Boom
Mm.
and how that defense was, or you look at um, Steel Curtain. With those defenses are one unit. Like everyone just feeds off one another. Everyone trusts, no matter what, that guy next to him is gonna do their job, and they're just out there playing free. Um, Seeing the Chiefs at the media day this week, saying in Spags we trust. Like that's not just for show. Like if you have everyone talks about like Andy Reid, right? Like how he's a player's coach and everyone loves to play for him, but like I don't think people realize the impact that an OC has or a DC has on that same unit. Like the way they play for Spags, the way they're rolling with it, like they've built it. And you go look at the draft, sure you might think at the time, oh, Nick Bolton wasn't nothing crazy. I liked him at Missouri. I love college football, so I remembered him. I knew who he was. Not many people knew who that dude was. But like what they get, they got a guy that fits their system and plays the way they need him to play. And it matched. Like they got your Tranquil, perfect pickup. I told you guys at the beginning of the year when you guys picked him up, I was like, I think that's gonna be one of the smartest picks. Period. Dude was a dog with the Chargers. He fits in anywhere, and he's not a liability. He's he's a step up from Sorensen.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's just a better player. So like, I think
Whoa,
they
whoa,
you guys have done.
let's not shit on Daniel here.
I think
All right.
I'm
consistency
not.
wise,
I'm not. Dan did his thing. Yeah, Drew's consistent, and he can go sit the bench for a
yeah,
couple games if you guys are healthy and you need him to pop back in. He's gonna come in and make some plays for you.
yeah,
Like, I think you guys just put a either you guys got the players you wanted, or you did a hell of a job developing them into the unit that you needed. So credit to Spags, credit to Andy Reid, credit to GM. Like it helps when you have guys like Chris Jones too. When you saw
yeah,
the impact without him, and then when he comes back, not only are you guys that much better, but like there was no division between him and the defense or anything. They welcomed him
yeah.
back. Everything like which you should. You're
No,
not
yeah,
gonna not welcome a
absolutely.
guy like that back, but like it just showed just even how much more when you have a guy like him leading that defense in the middle.
Yeah, and I don't want to get into like off season stuff too much because we'll have a separate video. Well, no, not about you, just about what I'm about to talk about. Um, like this off season, not past off season.
Oh, gotcha.
Um,
My bad.
no, yeah, yeah. Uh, because we'll have like a video later on this off season for each team we're planning on doing. Talk about what they need to do and stuff like that. But as far as Chris Jones is concerned with the whole contract situation, I was honestly kind of astounded at how little it impacted. Like not him sitting out, how much that impacted, but like the dispute, how it impacted. Like there was no real tension after the fact, which I thought was kind of interesting. Usually, even with those 1 year deals that the players end up kind of submitting to, you do still kind of sense that tension between the player and the organization, and I feel like there's none of that. So, Aaron, or I guess both of you guys, do you kind of feel like that's a good sign for the future? Like maybe Chris Jones is going to stick around. And again, we don't want to get I don't want to get too deep into this, but it's just something I kind of thought about.
I mean, he said that he wants to play in Kansas City for
Right.
the rest of his career, so that's always a positive. Um, I think it could potentially be kind of hard to bring him back, especially if
Yeah.
we look to maybe get Mahomes some more weapons. We've got some contracts coming on defense, I believe. Snead is coming up on free agency, so he's kind of a young poor piece. And whether we look at keeping him over Chris Jones, that's a whole nother debate. But I think obviously every Chiefs fan would want to bring Chris Jones back if that's possible.
Yeah. Joe, what were kind of your thoughts on the whole like not like lack of tension, I guess, between Jones and the front office after the fact?
I think it speaks more a lot about the culture of the team. Like there had to be some kind of understanding from both the players that were still on the team and Chris Jones. Like I think there was probably something behind the scenes where players, you know, understood that it had more to it was just money. They must like they didn't question the fact that he wanted to be there. I
Right.
think a lot of that has to do though with a lot of the bad contracts that have been done in the NFL or just the things that happen when guys get hurt. Like
Yeah.
people want the guaranteed money and everyone's starting to realize it can be gone. Not beginning to realize. People have known that. Players have known this, but like it can be gone in a split second. If you
Right.
don't have your guaranteed money, you got to get yours. And so I think but I think a big part of it that I think some people go unnoticed is that Chris Jones was at what every home game still when he sat
Yeah.
out
Oh, it was
in the
only one
I
box
only missed
and
game.
one
like
game.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was only opening day, but yeah, he was in the stands.
oh it was all going it was just all the preseason BS that
Right.
was going on.
Hmm.
That's what I remember. Like showing up at the game like dude when you're most guys when you're in a dispute nothing. You're cutting. You're
Exactly.
not doing
Yeah.
anything with the team. You're not showing up like and if I remember correctly, there was like clips of him like going crazy, like cheering
Oh
for them
yeah.
sometimes, like
Hmm.
getting hyped. So like you knew he wanted to be there. He wanted his boys to win. And I'm sure that helped in the locker room whether it was bad or not before. Seeing something like that on your phone after the game, you see your boy was over there going crazy. He's just now you're just sitting there, you're like, all right, man, like and there's more pressure on the organization. Like, oh, put this guy back in.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're gonna need him. He's for reals. He's the truth. And then he comes in, and obviously it's he put in the work because they haven't. Nobody's questioned anything. So hopefully he's there to stay for you guys.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, this isn't the first contract sort of dispute he's had.
yeah. The last time
Hmm.
he was
We
up
we
for
extended him a
extension.
few.
Yeah.
Yeah, we extended him. So this is kind of a similar situation. Obviously, it was a little different, but I mean, this isn't the first time that he's been in this situation.
Yeah, if I remember right, it was right
Hmm.
after the first Super Bowl win. Was whenever he was up for an extension. And there was kind of a similar. I mean, they got it settled before the season started, so it didn't come down to him sitting out any games. But I know he was threatening to if they didn't sign the extension. But kind of like what you said, Joe, is there was never really been any signs that he doesn't want to be there. And then what you said, Aaron, he said he wanted to retire a Chief. So I just and the players they know that he's if he's in, he's in. Like he's 100% in. He's not gonna like mess up the locker room, which is I think something that's a testament because a lot of players wouldn't give a shit. Um, they would just be about like care about their business and if it affects the team negatively, it affects the team negatively. But as long as they get their money, they don't really care. That doesn't really seem like the vibe Chris Jones gives off. Um, he wants it to work out for both parties as well as possible, and it's going to end up being a situation where it just sucks if he leaves. But hopefully, I don't think there's going to be hard feelings between either side. Um, and I'd like to say that Chiefs fans and true Chiefs fans, I don't think will be upset if Chris leaves this offseason. I think they'll be understanding there. You will of course have the bad apples though that are going to be cursing his name and stuff like that, saying he's worthless, all that nonsense. But I don't think any of that's true. I just kind of want to make that clear that I think Chris Jones, I think we all three think Chris Jones is, he's just doing what's best for him, and he doesn't mean for it to negatively affect the team. And I don't think it will continue to going forward. So, but just something I wanted to mention. Y'all got anything else you want to talk about with the Chiefs? All right. Well, in case, I think that'll do it for this episode of the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube, Swivel Chair Sports. I've been your host, Zach Circlepark Burkle. Here with my host today, Aaron and Joe. Go and say bye, guys.
Bye.
Adios.
All right. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Other than that, deuces.